I'm your host, and today we're diving into a critical conversation that's been making waves. We're talking about the legal battle to overturn what many are calling a rigged verdict against President Donald Trump. And to shed light on this, we're revisiting a powerful interview with Jonathan Emord, a legendary attorney and now a U.S. Senate candidate for Virginia. Emord is no stranger to taking on the establishment, and his insights are nothing short of eye-opening. So, let's jump right in. Emord, who has a track record of challenging the FDA and other federal agencies, is now fighting to overturn the conviction of President Trump. He's filed an amicus brief, which, in legal terms, is a way for someone who is not a party to a case to offer information, expertise, or insight that has a bearing on the issues in the case. Emord's brief is set to be filed after Trump's sentencing on July 11th, and it's packed with compelling arguments. One of the key points Emord makes is that the entire case against Trump is unprecedented and fundamentally flawed. He argues that the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, essentially created new law to fit his narrative. This is a big deal because, as Emord points out, it's the legislature's job to create laws, not the prosecutors. Bragg took a standard business records case, which was already past the statute of limitations, and turned it into a felony by alleging an intent to interfere with elections. This, Emord says, is not only unsupported by facts, but is also a dangerous overreach of power. The trial itself was a farce, according to Emord. It took place in a venue where Trump was guaranteed to be convicted due to the political climate. The judge, he argues, failed to provide proper instructions to the jury on the critical element of intent, which is essential in such cases. This lack of due process is alarming and sets a dangerous precedent for other business leaders in New York and beyond. But the implications don't stop there. Emord highlights the broader economic and political ramifications. The case has already caused significant damage to the rule of law in New York and has the potential to deter business leaders from engaging in transactions where they might be subject to such arbitrary and politically motivated prosecutions. This is not just a threat to Trump, it's a threat to the entire business community and the principle of due process. Emord also touches on the broader issue of the administrative state, which he believes has grown out of control. He's running for the Senate with the goal of defanging these overreaching agencies. One of his key proposals is the Congressional Responsibility and Accountability Act, which he co-wrote for Ron Paul. This bill would require all agency regulations to be passed into law by Congress, effectively making agencies advisory rather than legislative bodies. This is a bold move to restore the separation of powers and rein in the unelected bureaucrats who have too much power over our lives. To illustrate the tyranny of these agencies, Emord shares a personal story. He talks about a company that developed a groundbreaking biodegradable plastic solution, only to be shut down by the FTC because of a ridiculous and unscientific definition of biodegradable. This is just one example of how these agencies can destroy businesses and stifle innovation, all while claiming to protect the public. But it's not just about business. Emord also addresses the recent incident where Judge Andrew Napolitano and Scott Ritter were prevented from boarding a flight to Russia. This, he says, smacks of authoritarianism and is part of a larger pattern of the current administration targeting conservative voices and journalists. It's a stark reminder of the erosion of civil liberties and the need for vigilant defense of the Constitution. As we wrap up, Emord emphasizes the importance of the upcoming election on June 18th. He's running against Tim Kaine, a former vice presidential candidate, and he's calling on all supporters of liberty and health freedom to get out and vote. This election, he says, is a choice between liberty and tyranny, and it's a chance to make a real difference. So, there you have it. Jonathan Emord is not just a candidate. He's a fighter for the principles of liberty and the rule of law. His campaign is about more than just winning an election. It's about restoring the balance of power and ensuring that the government serves the people, not the other way around. If you're in Virginia, or if you have friends or family there, I urge you to visit emordforva.com. Donate if you can. And most importantly, get out and vote on June 18th. This is a critical moment, and your voice matters. Thanks for tuning in to BrightLearn. If you found this episode informative, please share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights and discussions. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep fighting for what's right. Take care.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Jonathan Emord and Mike Adams on June 4, 2024. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.